Hey guys, we have a $100 AFCO gift card and 4 LK lures rigged with beast hooks to give away. All you have to do is fill out a short survey and enter your email address in the box below. The link is located on Instagram and at the podcast description. Giveaway ends July 11th. My birthday, bro. And thanks again for all the support. We really appreciate it. Check out LK Lures on Instagram. They make amazing weedless baits. And check out AFCO. Big supporter, Matt Florentino. Really appreciate it, bro. Later. Whatever, just letting you know, like, however comfortable you feel, that's how it's going to be.
Cool. Yeah.
I just like telling people, because have you ever done podcasts before?
Never.
So then this is kind of weird for you.
To me, well, you teed it up real good. You said we drink beer and talk about fishing. And you know what? I didn't think too much of nothing.
Exactly.
It's cool. We got headphones. I can hear myself talk better. But to me, that's all I'm thinking about.
Exactly.
You're going to turn some dials and stuff like that. I got to make sure not to, scuff that up or smack my lips too much. But we'll see how it goes. If I'm that guy sounding like Boomhauer from King of the Hill, then I am.
All right. Well, that was a great introduction, but I'll have to say it again.
Shit. Oh, that was it?
Well, we'll start a real one.
That's fine.
That was a funny one. So
you can do whatever.
Welcome to Cast and Crank. Today we have, I guess, our first. What size boat do you run?
It's a 90-foot long-range sport fishing boat, but yeah, it's just
So our first big boat captain. We've had a couple other captains on, but he does long-range trips. Alec Robbie with the Polaris Supreme.
Yes, sir.
Great, man. And a fan. I'm not a fan. What a dickhead I sound like. A fan. No. One of the people that follow us, Damon, kind of pushed us this way, which we really appreciated. Thanks, Damon. Getting his captains on. Like I said, if you guys have people you can think of that are cool people and would probably want to come on the podcast, DM me, dude. I'll fucking everyone. Like I said, it's just fun talking about fishing. So this is one of those guys that we got on, and it's going to be an interesting one. I'm sure he's had a lot of good stories being on long range trips. So let's find out how you got into fishing.
How I have gotten to fishing.
Yeah.
Well, it was just this goes back so long that I don't even remember. It was basically my dad. He took me like every other, what I imagine most fathers do. They take their son fishing in a pretty local pond or stream or something.
And did you grow up down here? Or?
I grew up down here in Orange County, right in Trabuco Canyon, which is just South Orange County, and we went fishing in Holy Jim Canyon, just a little river there. They stock some trout or whatever, and he took me. I caught a couple and just bugged the shit out of him. Why don't we go back? And
is that the one that drains into Laguna Niguel?
Laguna Niguel
Lake?
I don't really know where it goes. Let's see. It goes, I can't say.
Is it above the 5?
So it's on the way to like Cook's Corner and all that deal. Yeah. It's right as you cross it. Yeah.
All right, I get it. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
But yeah, I just bugged the crap out of him. And it went from like a river to like, hey, let's go to that lake, to the jetty, to the San Clemente Pier. And then from the pier, I see the boats. I'm like, can I go on a boat? And my dad's like, what the hell did I get my son into? What kind of hobby does he? He's always asking me to go on these things. And soon he had to like bribe me, like, get a 90% on your spelling test, 100%, then we'll go. And I don't know, it's kind of cool incentive. But it just kept expanding from there to eventually get on a big long range boat. I see it on, Inside Sport Fishing would see a couple, the Red Rooster 3s, June Heat, or even Deep Color, which is on the boat I'm on right now, which is the Polaris Supreme. And
so you were watching this when you were a kid?
Oh, when I was a little guy. That was like,
oh, that's fucking awesome.
That was like the thing for me, is to watch those. And oh my gosh, that Ron Gribble, Michael Folks, and Andy Cates, and Tommy Rothery, and that was like the coolest shit for me, is seeing those big tuna, and then, oh my God, it's so big, they clip a rod onto it and throw it in the water, and they still get it. Like, who the hell does that? It's so big. And that's how I got started on all that. But to be honest, I love all kinds of fishing. I love the saltwater, which I do it for a profession. I love the inshore. I love the offshore. I live up in Idaho, and I go fly fishing up there. Crappie.
Do you live there? Like that's where you live, and you come down here to work?
Yes, but I am all over the place when I work. I'm mostly in San Diego when I work. When I'm off, I'm either visiting my family or my girlfriend or going on vacation. And, I haven't really settled down quite yet, playing that young man card, going wherever. When I was working a lot, like, work for 20 some odd days and a week off or 2 weeks off, I'd go take a vacation somewhere. Like back when I worked on the Red Rooster, I'd go to Idaho or go on a 2-week hunting trip or whatever. Or I'd go to Argentina and go fishing for rainbow, just all the trout there. Or there's these Dorado there that are not like the Dorado we have. They're these big, gnarly.
So you sent me some pictures of the golden Dorado, right?
Yeah.
So I just started watching that show, Fish or Die. And they were catching those right when you sent me. I'm like, I fucking seen that, bro.
Yeah.
On TV. Dude, that's a fucking sick ass fish.
There's nothing around here I could really compare it to. And they're one of the most fun fish to catch.
Really?
Every way I've caught them was basically a fly. And you either use a streamer, which is like a freaking 6 to 10 inch thing, and you just strip it across the surface. So it's really visual. You see them just pursue it and crash it. Or you use a rat pattern, a fucking rat. Cast out a rat and strip it, and they fucking hit it. And if they get it, they get hooked. Great. If not, they hit it like a tether ball, and it goes around branches. You're like, shit. But it's like
a peacock bass, almost like a trout.
It's like a peacock bass, like a trout. It's got like the speed. They hit it like a wahoo, but they're strong. And they dog you like a tuna or a grouper into these branches and stuff. Just a very unique fish. They got teeth like wahoo, but they actually have power behind the jaws. Like when you're taking the hook out, you put your little pliers in, and it's not like it's like a clack, clack, clack. You're like, God damn. I talked to the guides there, and I'm like, do people ever like what happens if they bite it? And they're like, oh, they break people's bones, and like they bite it and do a little alligator roll and like sprain wrists and, cut people open. You see littler Dorado that are like this big that are in half. Looks like a machete just hit it.
Oh shit, they'll eat each other, huh?
They'll eat it. Yeah, exactly.
Fuck.
You'll be catching like a 5-pound one, and bam, this 40-pound one just messes it up.
Shit.
Everything in that river down there either has teeth or is giant. So it's like that river monster. Itty bitty little bait fish there. They got little rat teeth, and then these big things. It's like piranhas everywhere. It's a whole new world. It was cool when I went there. I went there the first time to catch the trout, and someone introduced me to my friend who actually has a guide service down there, and I did the trout thing, and I'm like, you guys catch these things? He's like, yeah, you just got to go just a different flight. And so next year, 1 year later, I went down there and went with my friend's guide service, and they put us right on it, and it's a whole new world. You know what I mean?
Did you have to hike in at all?
No hiking. A couple weird flights, weird weird stuff like that, and then they put you they come pick you up in their little it's their version of like a Tacoma. It's like a diesel little Tacoma truck, and hopefully it doesn't rain too much to where you get stuck in the mud there, but don't worry, they got a giant tractor that'll come and pull you out if they do. It happens quite a bit. But yeah, you go on some jungly country through big puddle ravine kind of things and stuff where I'm like, it's like a foot of mud. I'm like, if we lose our momentum, we're gonna be here until like a tractor or people come with like come-alongs and winches and stuff to pull you out. But we get there, and then it's just a little couple. I'd say it's a lodge, but it's a not the most luxurious thing, but it definitely is comfortable. But it's so in the middle of it, like the jungle, and it's beautiful. It
sounds so amazing, dude. Like just like a different place to be, kind of get away from everything, right?
Oh yeah, there's caimans and monkeys and all sorts of stuff. I remember when I was in there was so you're in your little room, and they want you to keep the door shut because like all the creepy crawlies come in. And I mean, we didn't get any weird bugs, but we got this one goddamn frog. It was like a tree frog, and I couldn't get him out. And like, so you'd wake up in the morning early, like, okay, almost time to go fish, and you go to take your piss, and every morning this frog would be somewhere, like ready to fuck you up and surprise the shit out of you.
Rip your dick off.
Well, I look around because I know he's there. I don't see him. Like, cool. I go to the bathroom, take a morning number 2, and I go to the toilet paper. I pull a piece of toilet paper. He's in the holder.
Oh, what a piece of shit.
Shit, first,
literally shit yourself, huh?
yes, if I had any left. Yes, he definitely got that last little bit out. Or another day, I'm like, check the toilet paper holder. He's not there. And then I looked at just everywhere. I'm like, okay, cool. And like, I take a shower or something. It's all steamy. I like do that to wipe my hand on the mirror to like see myself, and bam, he comes out. He's behind the mirror. I'm like, this motherfucker, man. So it's a different world. It's
great
pretty cool.
Experiences, every
It is. Every day he found a way to surprise me. Check the hand towel.
That fucking frog, huh?
Yes. He grew on me though. You know what? I have to believe he was looking out for my best interest, because the mosquitoes down there and whatever.
Oh,
he was probably macking on those things. So you do your thing, Mr. Frog. Scare me in the morning, but take away those weird mosquitoes and bugs and all sorts of stuff. So, crazy experience.
Did you get into fly fishing when you moved to Idaho?
I got way more into it. My grandfather, older gentleman, he take me to random rivers and stuff, and I'd do it there, but in Idaho, it's just so much more prevalent.
Boise, right?
Yeah, Boise. That's where I lived there.
Shout out to my cousin.
Yeah, and my
Tyson,
neighbor.
Tyson Clark and my uncle, they both live out there. My uncle Rick Mishler. I love Idaho, so sorry for cutting you off, but like when I took my kids there, I taught my kids how to drop shot, because no one fishes bass, dude. No one fishes bass. We went to Durkee's. Have you heard of that lake? It's right by the Snake River. Dude, fucking awesome. The people are so fucking nice there.
Yeah.
Like everyone's so fucking nice up there, man.
It is. It just, I get that, my first instinct is not mess with some people. And the friend I'm with just like, we were crappie, it was perch. We were catching like true perch, not like surf perch, like the American yellow perch. And, it's basically like making bait at times, and you fry 70 of them up. Ooh, so good. But anyway,
I heard.
Some guys on like a spot just fucking these things up, and we're not doing shit. And like my buddy's like, hey, what you using? What are you doing? And I'm like, he's not gonna do shit. We're like, he's doing work, and we're like, like he's not gonna say anything. Guy's like, oh, they're up kind of high. Just you're using too much weight. Try a little split shot. Just cast it and wait 5 seconds, and it's a weird light bite today. Just swing and you'll get it. And I'm like, no way. Cast it out. Not hardly any weight. It's like just a piece of fucking corn or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I just set the hook blindly. Bam. I'm like, oh. And we just got in that routine. The guy just divulged his secret right there. It's crazy, It's different.
It's a different place. Like it's totally like I'm a little like if I didn't have my kids set right now, I would move to Idaho.
Yeah,
But the other thing is, I love the ocean so much too. I don't know if I could completely move, because I'm so close to like launching out of Huntington Harbor, or
there's definitely the fishing is definitely is good, but it's not as the variety we got down here. You got freshwater, you got saltwater, you got inshore, now you got offshore. Well, now you got the bluefin that are sometimes like a mile offshore or closer. That never happens, and now everyone fishing nowadays sees that. I mean, I'm not that old of a soul, but like, it wasn't like that at times. I remember we had to drive like 200 miles to get a bite. I was working on the Pacific Dawn doing like overnight 2-day trips, and sometimes we could barely get into them. And all these overnight boats or close range boats, we were struggling. It was it's tough. But now it's an amazing time to fish, is all I could really say.
Yeah, definitely, dude. So let's talk about how you left to school. You probably did your fly fishing up there. What made you want to come back and be like, I want to be a captain?
Well, I never stopped loving it. I went up there for school, and then in the summers, I'm like, it's just my routine. Like summertime, time to go on the ocean and work, and I still had that fire from when I saw those videos as a kid, and like now I get to work, and now I get to be that guy, and now I got good. I actually rode the Rooster as a passenger. I'd work on the Dawn and pay for an 8-day and a 15-day and whatever, and then after that, I'm like, I like it. I like helping people. It's something I like doing, and I get paid for it, so why not? So I just kept snowballing. It's just been like that ever since. I've just, no matter where I live, I'd like to make that a part of my life, because it's so enjoyable, or to me, you know what I mean? Being at the Lehos Rocks, catching wahoo and yellowtail, or going to Hurricane Bank and, putting on an 8-pound yellowfin tuna to catch a 200-pound yellowfin tuna.
So wild, dude.
It's crazy.
Yeah, when Evan was telling me what he was using 10-pound skipjack to catch his shit, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? That's fucking wild, dude.
It is. And, people think, it's funny, I know this is kind of not off topic, but people think like, oh, sharks are the craziest predators. I'm like, if fish had big mouths like sharks, I'd be more afraid of that tuna, because tuna, they get to eat and they're fast and whatever. And, there's like 125 or like a 120-pound yellowfin tuna will try to eat that 15-pound skipjack. They can't. It's too big, but they fucking try. I would not want to be swimming in the water with something like that. They're animals.
Yeah.
They'll eat Dorado. They'll eat whatever. Fucking seahorses, even sea snake, anything. They got to eat. They got those fast metabolisms. They got to eat. Whether we can present them something that they're going to want to eat, that's another thing. But they got to eat, and they eat some crazy things,
So what boat did you kind of like learn everything on?
The boat I learned, okay, so as far as the overnight kind of stuff.
Or even let's start where you started learning to like really deckhand hardcore.
That was the Pacific Dawn with Pat Kavanaugh. He took me on when I was 15, and that was cool because I not only did the offshore stuff in the summer, but I did the Channel Island stuff and seen the white sea bass and the halibut and stuff like that. And we just shuffled between the two places, for the time I got in the summer. And then, that's where I learned the ropes. That's where I learned.
Cut your teeth pretty much on you.
Exactly. And then after that, once I graduated, I had the time to do the whole year-long thing and see the whole long-range, circle of life, summertime kind of local 3 to 5 day trips, 7 day trips, and then the winter time, the 10 to 15 day trips, we go way south for the big tuna and the wahoos. So that was mainly on the Red Rooster 3. Those are the places where I really, for lack of better words, grew up, especially because I spent so much time there. It's like growing up, spent more time with those guys than my family and anyone else. So it's you really, that's where I grew up as far as working.
Did your dad ever roll out with you to some of those?
He not as much as one would think. I think I got him to go on a 4-day trip on the Red Rooster. I think my second year working there.
How old were you then?
I was 22, I think.
Okay.
He went out on the Dawn, like I used to. So how I met Pat is I chartered the Pacific Dawn for my fishing club back in high school, and he went on every one of those trips. It was just like an overnight trip in April or something. He went on all of those, but once I started working, I think he only went on one 4-day on the Red Rooster, and that's about it. I've been trying to, I'm like, hey, Dad, he's bluefin. We got a spot. Come on. And he's a real estate agent, so he's like, I got a listing and stuff like that.
No, yeah. But this is interesting to me because my son is going to be 15 in July. So it's like, this is not far. Your age is not far away from me, my son, to be like, I remember celebrating his, fucking 9th birthday, and now he's fucking going to be 15. He's taller than me. I'm like, fuck, this guy's bigger, Right. So it's like, it's cool to hear like if your dad like rolls with you, or kind of like how your dad has navigated with you. We definitely always,
you know
what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
We always make a point to go, and most of the time when we go, it's like with Brandon, who I talked about. We find a time to go fishing, all 3 of us, or a couple of times it was me, my dad, and Brandon, his 2 sons, and that was funny because last time we went fishing, they were just both itty bitty tykes just running around. And
God, I couldn't imagine, dude.
Oh man, yes, I didn't.
They get crazy. The kids get so wild, and I couldn't imagine bringing my little guys on a boat.
Yep. So that's basically where I roll with him as far as fishing goes, and we always make a point to go, but he's not there all the gosh darn time. He makes a point to come down and visit me, in between trips and stuff like that, and we hang out a lot, but he hasn't really made a chance to come on the big long trips. But one day soon, whenever he feels like there's good time. So
yeah. So once you started deckhanding all the time, when did you become a captain?
It was when I was 20. I forgot. It was the first year. When Tommy asked me to work for him, it was the first chance I really got presented with a legitimate time we can go back before that. Brandon, he straight up gave me the chance. He's like, you get your license, I'll teach you to run it. running. So that is where I first started.
What's Brandon's charter's name again?
It's well, I don't know what it is now. It's like Bite Sport Fishing. I'm just so used to calling it OMC, one man charters, because that's what it used to. But now I think it's Bite Sport. It's Bite Sport Fishing now. That's what it is. But
it's a cool to talk about. Like, so we had Wes. He came and hang out. So it's cool to have these guys that kind of all know each other. You guys,
it's just
a small world, I guess. But I don't know nothing about it, so that's why I'm like, oh, it's cool. You fucking know each other. But everyone's been fishing forever, not me.
Yeah, yeah. You come to find out how the network really is, and how somewhat call it tight knit it is. We all kind of know each other through something or the other. But that's where I learned to run a boat, and it was cool because running a little charter boat and running a big long range boat, the premise is still the same. It's still the customer service and the fishing hard and the everything. It's just on two different kind of scales, But it was a good place to really to learn, and sometimes it's kind of harder because on a long range boat you're in a wheelhouse by yourself. When you're running the Parker, everyone's all right there, and it's a lot going on all at once. But so that's where I learned that, and then the step to the long range fishing. The biggest difference there is managing a little more people, managing the crew, and finding a way to get everyone to kind of cohesively work together, which is just different. You know what I mean? It wasn't the one man charter, for lack of better words, anymore. You had a big operation in multiple days and a lot more moving parts. So, but yeah, that's how I learned to be captain and how I started running the boats. And
how many people do you usually do on your boat on overnight or long range?
So on the trips, typically we max out at 24 people for a 90-foot boat. It's a pretty light load compared to a lot of other boats, but this boat was kind of built to be a limited load long range sport fishing boat. So it's still a big boat, 24 people max. A lot of charters prefer to take less people and pay a little more money just to have a little more comfortable room on it, though. But yeah, we take 24 passengers at a time with a crew of 7, including myself. So it's cool. And it's a big boat, quite a bit of people, but still not 30 or something, So, or 80 or whatever these, there's a whole slew of loads in between. And on Brandon's boat, I think the most we ever take with one person was like 5. I think it's once you get to 6 or more than 6, you got to have another licensed person on. And it's just, gosh, on a Parker, having that many people,
there's a lot.
Yeah, like 4 is a comfortable number. 3 or 4 people is comfortable for that small.
Plus you, the captain and deckhand. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
makes sense. So you've been doing it how long now, Captain? Like on the Polaris Supreme.
The Polaris Supreme. This will be my I think 4th year on the boat. I had 1 year of kind of learning the ropes, and then after that I started running it. So this will be my 3rd year. Third full year of running it, and I dig it still. I like all the aspects, and it ever changes too. It's not just one little area. Sometimes it's a 3-day trip where you got to stay local. Sometimes it's 7-day, a 10-day trip where you got a big logistical plan. You got to factor in a lot of different factors into it, be it weather, be it what's biting, be it what the group kind of wants. You got a lot of different factors rolling in there, but it's really enjoyable. I like it. And it's a comfortable boat. It's a comfortable boat for me to work on. You got a good chef on there. You got comfortable meals. You got comfortable accommodations. Gosh, it's nice taking a hot shower every night.
Do you have to stop and get gas? Is this some stupid questions that I have? Like on the long trips, do you have enough gas to do the whole trip? Or
yes, we have. We've never had to do that. There is sometimes, I can't say I've been on a trip where they've ever done it. But certain specialty trips in the past, they have to do it sometimes, like going to a place called Clipperton Island, which is 1,600 miles south of San Diego. It's basically Nicaragua, I believe. It's definitely past Mexico.
Yeah.
So far south, it's not even a Hispanic. It's the French that own it. So good Lord,
that's wild.
Most boats don't have to refuel for that, but sometimes if they make drop some people off to fly home, they'll top off a little bit. But the Polaris Supreme is designed to do all these trips and just carry a giant capacity of fuel to comfortably fish those days with some extra, just in case, So
yeah,
it's a big capacity for the fuel and the fresh water and all the supplies,
Let's talk about when you were learning to be a captain. I'm sure there's some rookie mistakes in there.
Let's see.
I'm sure you're learning like, oh shit, why did I do that?
I'm trying to think of what rookie mistakes I'd make. They're definitely there, just not coming to mind as easy. I know one time we were fishing, and me and the American angler Ray was running it, and we're like, let's go south. This is some good looking water. Up here's kind of been hammered a little bit. Super vague because I can't really name off the exact situation.
Mm-hmm.
And we looked at it, and we went down there and fished, and it was warmer water, nice edge, and he had kind of the outside and I had the inside edge, and we were able to find some yellowfin tuna, which was great.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of bait, a lot of life. They just wouldn't cooperate. And I'm like, damn, it was a frustrating day getting, we got a handful of tuna, some, probably 20 some odd kelp patty, yellowtail on the smaller end. And I was pretty, not quite having it. So I'm like, we'll go back up, finish up by, have some shots at some 20 to 70 pound bluefin, call it that. And he decided to stay. And, to me, I'm like, gosh, dang, we just it was hard and they're not biting. And we're both on 3-day trips, so it'll be our last day. He stayed and I went up there and I did catch, we caught bigger fish, but we only caught like 15 of them. Yeah. And he stayed and they got like 80 or 100 or something. Like, God bless America, man. Like, what's the deal? And like, I don't know, just why should I have stayed? But you can't be second guessing yourself. That's kind of the one thing I learned. If you keep second guessing yourself, it'll just second guess yourself into shambles. But what other rookie mistakes have I done?
Or even like some rough seas trips.
Oh, that's good because that kind of brings on kind of a rookie mistake. Because one of the things I used to do, or I do a lot, I'm a lot more aware of it now, is being aware of everyone while I'm driving in rough seas. Case in point, I'm young. Let's get after it. Let's go fishing. Bam. Oh, I see a school. Bam. Start pounding into it and going. And you get so on it because you're so excited to get to that school or that bird school or a kelp patty or whatever. And you forget about everyone else that's getting their butts kicked downstairs or the chef or whatever. And then all of a sudden you get an angry chef covered in spaghetti or something. Coming up like, what the hell, man? That's a good thing you brought that up because that reminded me of a definite rookie thing, and I'm a lot more aware of that now. Every time that bow goes down, I'm like, shit. And I get a crew member, I'm like, hey, check, just let me know how they're doing, make sure everyone's grabbing a rail or something like that. And it's please, I'm definitely a lot more conscientious about that now because of a couple situations. You have one guy, just fall down and it's harmless, well, he just fell down, dusted himself, came right back up. And in my mind, it just blows up from like a 20-year-old guy falling down to an 80-year-old guy falling down to like a guy getting really hurt. And I'm like, I got to really be more careful about this, So that's definitely one of the rookie mistakes.
Have you ever had anyone like get really hurt or like anything like that on the boat?
I haven't had anyone get crazy injured on the boat. Got the countless amount of hooks and we've been able to get those out. I don't even count those as serious injuries anymore because we're so good. Lack of better words, I think most of these boats are good at getting the hook out, even though to the people it's like, oh, it's the most serious thing ever. But we're like, I got these bolt cutter. We do it so fast that hopefully they just are like, what just happened? I have a hook out of my hand now. Mm-hmm. So the thing it wasn't an injury, but it was I don't know if it wasn't. It had all the symptoms of an allergic reaction. This lady in the middle of the night had all these symptoms of an allergic reaction. Mm-hmm. And she had an allergy to peanuts and stuff like that. Checked with the chef. Nothing had it. Nothing had it. Something else is happening. And that was very scary because that happened. They were playing cards late at night and the whole crew and everyone, we were all asleep. The guy on watch, the chef actually comes up and just like, he is like freaking out beyond belief because he's there cleaning or something. Lady, oh my God, she can't even say she can't breathe. But she like gave him some EpiPens before the trip. Oh, and she didn't tell us about them. Only the chef knew, which now I know to like really be aware of stuff like that. And she's like giving the motion to like administer this EpiPen to me, which is what we have to do. We're not doctors. We can't administer no prescription stuff, but they got it. It's hers. And she's like, hit me with it. And so he doesn't know how to use one, which it sounds simple, but in a panic, when you see a person not breathing, I could see how the mistake was made.
Right.
And so the EpiPen, just imagine, a plastic looking thing, and it's got like the end of it looks like you click it and it's like a pen, like something would pop out, like a ballpoint pen or whatever. It's not how it works. It's supposed to go the other way, and that thing is meant to be just like swung and hit into the person. So he didn't know that. He got it. He's like, okay, cool. He lightly put the butt of it, the wrong side of it, on the lady and clicked it down.
Fucking hit himself with the fucking...
Oh, yeah, it's a spring-loaded thing. Go wham, up into his thumb. He's like, oh, my God. And then he's like, it's like dangling out of his thing. And he's just like, and like hit her with it. And so like, who knows if like the epinephrine or whatever, actually, who knows who got the proper amount there.
Yeah.
All we kind of speculate, and then after that, he ran up and told us, like, the guys, what does this have? What does this reaction? I stabbed her with a pen, but it wasn't me. It was I got it, and then I gave it to her, and we're like, what is going on? And like, we're all starry-eyed, and we go down and we kind of assess the situation. And he was so tripped out that there was like I saw 2 EpiPens right there, and I'm like, so how many EpiPens are there total? He's like, 1. And I'm like, I see one, and I see one 2 inches away from the other.
Yeah.
Like they're right next to each other. And that's one of them. He definitely touched one of them. I'm like, how many are there? He's like, 1. I'm like, shit. Like, it's times like that make people really, their mind races a million miles an hour. And I can't blame the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's heavy. It's heavy stuff. You have a lady that is on the cusp of not being able to breathe. And everyone really emphasizes how, these emergency situations happen. You got to stay calm and composed and not act on emotion. And after that, we got on the phone with the Coast Guard flight surgeon. He was kind of walking us through symptoms and stuff because he, stuff like that. We're trying to maybe airlift her out or whatever. And he's asking, is the condition worsening? And everyone's like, yeah, of course it is. And I was like, you know what? Her color is the same, and any worse, and she wouldn't be breathing. So we're like, I think she's either staying the same or getting better, because any worse, and she wouldn't breathe.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, but everyone's emotions were like, no, it's worse.
Did she end up being fine?
What ended up happening? Yes, she ended up being fine. So wrap up the kind of story. Got her into some comfortable clothes. Got her in a comfortable place. Had someone just kind of monitor her the whole time, and
Did you just keep fishing?
Yeah, well, the next day, we were working up north anyway. We were actually, that night, we turned it to the closest port, which would have been Ensenada, which was, still
Mexico.
100 and some odd miles away. But the next morning, we talked to her, and she was much better. And she's like, don't stop fishing because of me. And God bless her heart, but I'm like, we got to think about you here.
Yeah.
So, please don't just do this. It might ruin everyone's trip if we have to. But it turned out good. And it must have been some sort of anxiety or a panic attack or something like that. But it had all the symptoms of an allergic reaction. Just her color was lost and her throat closed up. I'm like, shit.
That's what happened, dude.
So that was kind of scary. Happened again years later, but
you're ready this time though, huh?
We were so lucky too. We were coming in giving like the closing debarkation seminar in the morning, the unloading, like, put the fish in the cart, bring them up. Coming into San Diego Bay, and this lady starts having it, and I'm like, this could not came at a better time. So we just drove to the dock and got her to the hospital and taken care of. And it was but it was the same kind of thing. It was just like trouble breathing and this and that, but we were so fortunate it was right there. Then I'm like, but we didn't know what to do.
Did she have the same deal, or was it like a heart attack?
It was she was having same symptoms of an allergic reaction, had EpiPens and stuff like that, but we didn't really know which one, a panic attack or an allergic reaction it was. But we were good. We were very relieved that we were able to get her to professionals right away. And I know you probably have a bunch of surgeons and doctors listening to this, and they're like, oh, of course it's a panic attack. You couldn't tell that from the 9-6 whatever pulse and stuff like that. But you know,
You know what, dude? I've had so many panic attacks and anxiety attacks.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm fucking dying every time, dude.
Shit. Well,
Dude, I've had them and I'm like, I'm fucking dying for sure, bro. You know, like it's, I get what you're saying. Like when you look at someone and they're like, I had my wife call fucking 911. This is like 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I had a panic attack. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I woke up out of sleep, panic attack.
Mm-hmm.
My fucking mouth's numb and I'm fucking passing out. I'm like, call 911. And they took me to the emergency. And they're like, hey, you had a panic attack. I'm like, in my fucking sleep. He's like, yeah. I'm like, fuck, dude.
Better to be safe than sorry.
Right? Yeah. I mean,
I'd rather go to a professional and them say, you're good, than like the latter. You know what I mean? And you know what? Thank goodness it's only a panic attack.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And it's all good. But those are the two gnarliest ones I remember as far as injuries or some sort of thing happening on that regard.
what do you do now if, say, if someone died on the boat?
You know, I've had that one time over my career. And
You've had someone die on the boat?
yes.
No way.
Yeah. So this one was not because of a like an injury that led to that. He woke up in the morning and he was no more. And it's a very difficult situation to take on. There's obviously some legal things we got to take care of, notify the right people and the this and the that. But, you know, basically the best thing to do from at least my one experience, and, you know, Tommy's dealing with it before, is you get everyone back into their rooms. Just give us at least like 30 minutes or a little bit of time to kind of clean everything up and get stuff squared away before we proceed. But, you know, you're far away, and even if you're driving back, it's still a couple days, so you got to get him situated in the proper him or her situated in the proper place to be able to preserve, you know, his remains the best you can, and that entitles freezing. So we have freezers, but we don't throw them with the fish.
You have a dedicated freezer, almost like.
Yeah, exactly. And we have body bags and stuff like that, and, you know, pretty heavy stuff. But, you know, it's kind of a funny thing. We get a lot of people, and some they say is like, oh, if I were to end my days, this would be the place. And part of me is like, that's cool, you know, like you
not for me though.
you want to spend your last days, you know. I think about it from my shoes. It's like I've had so many great memories out here, and I know a lot of people have the same, and they just feel at home. They feel like it's their place. Yeah, it's not cool for us, but, you know, they went out doing what they like to do, and they're in a better place and looking down, you know. So, but yes, as far as dealing with it, that's
it's wild. Yeah, I'm sure not many I mean, maybe a lot of guys have passed away on boats, right?
It depends your definition of a lot, but I'd say the people who have worked on boats for, I don't know, at least 5-6 years, pretty solid. I'm sure they've seen.
That's wild. That's still kind of crazy, you know. Like
it is.
You got to think about it.
Yeah, you get people that are up there enjoying their retirement, and they just keep creeping along in age, and before you know it, it's that time. And when I don't know, you know, it's
definitely
that time, you know.
Thanks to me for being a fucking bummer right now, huh? Talking about death.
You're talking about real stuff. Part of life is death. You know what I mean? Can't avoid the inevitable. So, you know, it's going doing something you love. That's the good thing to take away from it is people love being out there. And
well, let's talk about something
a
little more positive.
Right.
Let's talk about some of the either your personal best or your boat, because I know some guys like to talk about what has been brought onto their boat. Mm-hmm. You know, so tell us about that.
Okay, so both two categories. We got myself and my boat. Myself, on my first 15-day that I paid for, I kind of mentioned there, I went on the Red Rooster, and gosh, I was 18, and I saved up all this money to go on a 15-day trip. I had to be on a standby list. I got called like a week before. They're like, hey, you want to go? I'm like, a week? I got what? And I'm like, hold on. I'm like, I'm good. I'm like, but I don't have any gear.
Yeah.
Like, I saved up. Like the crew's like, just get on the boat and we'll take care of you or whatever. I'm like, I told the secretary, I'm like, I have the money to go on the trip. I don't have any gear. And she's like, it was an accurate sponsored trip, and I didn't know, but they bring on like 50 rods and 50 reels, and like just they're all set up. So
Yeah.
I didn't realize that, but they're like, yeah, come on, we'll take care of you. And I just packed up for a 15-day fishing trip with clothes, boots, normal stuff like that. And they had like a 30-pound fly line set up and a 9-foot jig stick. I'm just, here I am. We got all these guys like dock carts just full of rods and tackle chests and fucking, ammo boxes of weights. And I'm like, I got a backpack and a bag. And I'm like, wow. So anyway, went on that, and that was like paradise for me.
Really?
Well, you go fishing on those trips, and you have a good shot. You have a really good shot at catching a giant tuna any time of day, especially at Hurricane Bank. Day, night, middle of the night, noontime, whatever. And that trip, I was able to, big long story I could tell, but kind of fast forward to like the second to last day, and through all these sharks, the sharks were so gosh darn bad. They were even eating the sardines, and it got to a point where I was like casting out a sardine. I'd watch it swim away from the boat, and I'd see 2 sharks jet after it. I'm like, F this. I wound it in. I'd literally soak a bait for 15 seconds maybe. It seemed like pointless.
Yeah.
It seemed pointless.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, F this, sitting down, like I'm cooking too many sharks. But that's the only way I could soak a bait in the water is like 15 seconds, or else it's getting eaten, wind it in, change it. One time out of the gajillion times I casted that day, plopped it in the water, bait woke up, sprinted away, it was out of sight. Same shit, see a couple sharks come from under the boat, out, whatever, kind of right towards where I think it is. About to be like, yep, wind it in, and just this flash comes. Flash in flat water, like 15 feet behind the boat. I'm like, holy shit. And I put the reeling gear and it just screams. It had 700 yards. I was fishing 130 and had 700 yards of spectra on it. It was not stopping. I think back now, I'm like, should I have button drag down a little more? I don't know. And I'm just like, someone working the kite is like, what you got going on down there? And I'm like, do you have any suggestions? And I turned around, I'm like, you have any suggestions? And the reel has like a thumb width of line on it. It's happened like 20 seconds, and we put a backup rod on it and buttoned it down. About to throw the thing in the water, and we stop it. I'm like, shit. We like start winding it, wind it back, and I think we tail wrapped it, and it came back like halfway, because then you could see like the rod just shook and something happened. Then it started swimming around, and we kind of fought it up. But end of that triumphant story, or fast forward to the end of that triumphant story, it was a 314.8 pound yellowfin tuna.
0.8.
Yeah. How often you just say 314? Round up to 315. No, when you get above 300 pounds, you get to the 10th. You get to the 10th of a pound. 314.8. Number will live in my mind. Infamous. Brought it on, and I was just like, oh my goodness, man. And everyone went from nice job, guy, catching, I caught a 200 pounder. Oh, first one, nice. And then after that, I caught like a 280 something. They're like, oh, that's like a really big one. You're probably not gonna get another one that big in your life. And then I catch a 314.8, and they're like,
I bet. What are you doing, bro?
yeah, guy, I've been doing this for 25 years, and I've caught a 240 here. Like, what the fuck? And
dude.
so anyway, I mean, they were happy, but it was just such a weird, like, okay, that's enough.
No, I bet, man.
Yeah, so that's my personal best yellowfin tuna, and I when I caught that thing, I'm like, I don't know if I'll catch another yellowfin tuna like that again. So
That was it.
yeah, but
How
anyway,
old were you then?
I was 18.
Okay.
I was 18 when I caught that fish, so it was that was a great experience and really, really cool. So that's my personal best. Background on the Polaris Supreme. I was not on the boat, but the Polaris Supreme at one time had the largest yellowfin tuna ever caught on rod and reel. It was not an IGFA world record, but it was the largest yellowfin tuna caught on rod and reel. It got disqualified only because they used a backup on it. Okay. And they actually, it's funny, they put a guy on the kite, bam, took it down, spooled him. Okay, next. Put a kite out, bam, took down, another guy spooled it. Okay, next guy, same shit, bam, hook up, didn't spool him, put the backup on it, sent it out, wound it in, and they just threw it on the boat. They were like, oh, this place, it was really slow from everything else, but then they catch a giant fish, and they're going to hurry up to go move position or whatever, and they didn't really see how big it was. All I saw is 3 full sets or 2 slack sets of line coming out of its mouth. So it was the same fish.
Yeah.
Took it down 3 times.
Oh, fuck.
So it's like, take one, spooled, next, came back. Take
all
one,
those
spooled.
fuck. Did they get all those rods back?
Well, no, they just, it broke at the
spooled.
reel.
Oh,
It
that's
broke at the reel.
why.
So just had
Yeah.
like 3, 4, whatever they had back in the day of line. And they threw it on the boat. And it just baffles me that it like went through 3 people, still kept eating. Like I said, them fish, they get what they want. They hungry. If he likes a taste for that flying fish or that mackerel or whatever, they gonna get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that fish went 399.9 pounds. So it was
What's the record?
right now it is, I think it's the IGFA, or it's so hard to tell, but the ones that have been officially weighed are around 455 and 450 or some, maybe 460. Some guys are weighing them on the boat or taping them out, but I know the XL, they caught one, it was 445 pounds.
Fuck.
But at that
time.
At that time, no fish broke 400 pounds. So that was quite an accomplishment for years. And then I think in 2011 or 10 or something like that, the Vagabond finally broke the 400-pound mark and got a 405-pound yellowfin tuna. Finally broke it. And then ever since then, they've been catching a couple more over 400
so
here and there.
big, dude.
Yep, that was a big dude back in the day where they had like 300 yards of 100-pound test line. And, I told you mine, I caught on 130 and I had 700. This thing, they were able to like dive with clips and get it on. I can only imagine just hours of boredom. Then, hook up. Oh, shit. Like you just got to be like quick on the draw.
Going.
Yeah, so you don't want it overboard too late. It's already fucking sailing out there, Hopefully our knot's good. So, yeah.
Motherfucker, dude.
Yeah, it's cool that fish though. They got it mounted for the boat, took it around to trade shows and stuff now. But it was in we sold it to King's Fish House, and they are gonna put it in their restaurant in Las Vegas. They're starting a cool restaurant in Vegas.
Oh,
there.
that's fucking cool, man.
So part of the Supreme will be living in Vegas with one of the biggest tuna ever caught in rod and reel. So that's kind of cool. It's going to a good home. I like the fact that it's gonna go to a restaurant and people are going to stare at it while enjoying their fine seafood dinners.
Very fine.
Yeah, they're fine.
So what's your local tackle shop? Down here, at least.
Oh, goodness. There's a lot. I haven't been to a tackle shop in so long, but I mean, down by my parents' house has always been kind of Hogan's Tackle or the Jig Stop. I like the Longfin, Angler Center. Those have been my main ones, but the more trips I go on, the more guys I meet that work at different tackle shops and stuff like that I go to. I think actually, excuse me here. Sorry about that. Had to ventilate. Was the one around here? The I forgot.
We have Performance local, and then we have Fisherman's Access.
Wasn't it? Yeah. I forgot. Anyway, those are my main ones, or I get it like online. I just call them. I'm so busy now. I don't have really the time to stop and shop around. I remember that was such an enjoyable thing for me in my younger years too, to go to a tackle shop and look at all the swim baits. I'm like, oh, that's gonna be the one. Now it's like I just gotta buy some of this. Like
whatever, I gotta go.
I'm like, Daddy, can I need 2 bags of blue 6X juniors or scrambled egg? Come on, like you know what I mean? And they're like, here we go, and it shows up, and we just get paid. We buy a bunch at a time.
Yeah,
so it's funny how that kind of goes away. The allure of shopping at a tackle store kind of has faded.
Well,
for
I think
me,
it's
at
when
least,
when you turn your passion into a job, it changes a little bit. I think, right?
Yeah. But it's it was still so cool always going there. But yeah, like I said, the main one was the Longfin for me, and the Jig Stop or Hogan's down in Dana Point. Yeah, those were all the really cool for me. Especially, I like Hogan's. When I used to surf fish down there when I was a little kid for some reason.
Yeah, Hogan's is a good place too. Yeah, I like going there too when I'm down that way.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah, I go to I fucking drive everywhere. I go to usually go to Performance, but if not, I'll go to Angler Center because I talk to the manager at Comron there. He's real nice. And then I go to Hogan's if I'm down really down south. But the same thing. Wherever you're at, dude. I mean, I try to buy as much at tackle shops as possible. Yeah. Not Amazon or tackle. It's so easy just to buy shit off the internet.
Yeah, it's the small. There are small businesses, and one day they could be gone just from like that. But that you really lose that personal touch. You lose that kind of that local knowledge. And, you know, I mean, obviously a guy working at a tackle shop is not going to be like a guide, sometimes they are, but even still, they're a good medium point. Like, hey, what would you recommend? I'm going surf fishing here. I'm going halibut fishing there. And they're just gems and knowledge. And they're just so invaluable that, you know, it's great to support any local guys like that, just to, you know, keep that extra edge, because I have yet to see Amazon send me a recommendation on
a good one.
Yes, exactly, on fishing gear.
Yeah.
But that's those are the shops I dig. So what was you saying? Your favorites were
Performance. I usually go to I go to Longfin, Fisherman's Access.
Cool.
Whatever I'm around at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Fisherman's Access is probably the closest, and I'll usually go there to talk to Seth or. But I go to Performance to hang out.
Yeah,
because I work down that way, so I'll stop and just hang out and talk to Joe or Mark. You know, just hang out, buy a couple of things. Dark Sleepers, that's my fucking go-to. So
nice.
But yeah, definitely, I love going to tackle shops.
The Performance, we definitely got a lot of clients who really swear by them, and you know, it's just I don't have enough hours in the day to go scope out all these places. If I'm in the neighborhood, I'm like, I just stop by there. And,
that's how I started. My uncle told me to go there, and I checked it out. But hey, thanks for coming on, bro. Really appreciate it. It's been a fun time. Where can they reach you at?
Well, they could reach me if you go to our Facebook or our Instagram, you know, Polaris Supreme. Just type that in on Facebook or Instagram. I think it's just Polaris Supreme on Instagram, and just DM me, and we'll, you know, they can ask me any questions they want, or if they want to book a trip, we got our website, PolarisSupreme.com or Polaris Supreme Sport Fishing. I know I just don't sound very professional knowing our exact website there, but Polaris Supreme, not the ATV Polaris, and not any sort of, you know, Mexican dish Supreme, but combine those two. That's where it is, and that's how you can reach our secretary Susan, who can hook you up with coming on any trips. And if you do have a question tackle related, just let her know if you want to call there, and she'll connect you with me, and she'll connect, or Tommy or whoever's not on the boat, so that way one of us will be able to set you up with the tackle or the techniques, or, you know, just answer any questions. We get people from all over that, you know, have questions, you know, coming from Montana or Texas or whatever, that have no inkling of starting. But we're more than happy to return your call and, you know, get you all squared up on the fishing going on, the relevant fishing. Yeah, please do that instead of going to the recommended tackle list.
Definitely, dude.
I'm sorry, Performance Tackle and all you tackle shops out there. You know, if they followed that list, you guys would be making some money. But, you know, that covers everything. Yeah. We can definitely streamline it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks again for coming on, bro.
Oh, I really enjoyed it.
The invitation's open, man. If you ever want to come back on, hang out, talk fishing, come back on, bro.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Thanks for listening, guys.